A lot of y'all seen the video where Israel, one of our auditors, was arrested by John Shannon in Hillsborough County in Carrollwood, Tampa, near Tampa, north of Tampa, in Carrollwood. He was attacked. He wasn't really arrested. He asked John Shannon, why he had the prison ID, and John Shannon immediately put him in cuffs, and then charged him with solicitation on or near a roadway with a secondary charge of resisting without violence for failure to provide ID. The state's attorney wants Israel to plea. Israel is Ryan Kirby, which is the auditor. He goes by Israel. But anyway, she wants him to plea to the charge so bad it's hurting her. She is new to this. She's only been a lawyer for about a year. She's now saying that Ray Tassiv of the Florida Justice Institute filed his motion to dismiss incorrectly. Ray has talked to a lot of his colleagues, a lot of other attorneys, and it doesn't seem that way. So he filed a B1 motion challenging the constitutionality of the ordinance of Hillsborough County 4223. The state's attorney came back and said, well, you should have filed a C1. So we're going to file a motion to dismiss because your B1 motion is filed incorrectly. You should have filed a C1. Now, Ray's been doing this for like 35, almost 40 years. He's the senior litigator for the Florida Justice Institute. This is a young ordinance state's attorney. All she does is ordinances. I don't know why she thinks that she knows something that a dozen other senior litigators don't know. I don't know, but we're very comfortable that this was filed properly. So here's the bully move. So the deal on the table used to be that there was no fines or costs, or only fines and costs, no jail time if you plead to it. And it didn't matter if we pled to it or not, because the lawsuits is challenging the ordinance and being constitutional itself. So it really didn't matter what the kangaroo court, county court decided they wanted to do. The lawsuit would file in federal court anyway, and that's what we were anxious to do. So we were like, hey, we'll just plead to it and get on the federal court, and whatever. There's no jail time. We'll just pay them their money and then get it back at the end on the federal court. So she said, oh no, that deal's off the table. Now we want you to do 30 days incarcerated. Remind you, this is for holding a sign. If we're holding a sign over 4 foot from the roadway, but even if it was right near the roadway, it'd still be perfectly constitutionally legal. But Hillsborough County doesn't like panhandlers. So they really are doubling down. But that lit a fire under Ray's ass. So before, Ray was like, hey, I don't want to deal with fucking criminal ordinance violations. I want to move on to the federal civil. That's what we do. And now he's like, I don't really want to come back and forth from Miami to Tampa to do criminal. But now Ray's like, oh, they want to put somebody in jail for holding a sign for panhandling. They just want to put them in jail. Well, all I can say, I'm trying to figure out the most professional way to say it motivated Ray. So now we just want to go ahead and fight it. So there's no decision to go ahead and plead to it and move on to the federal. Now it's okay. Let's go to battle. You want to go to war? This Messina versus Fort Lauderdale was just November 2024, which is it's basically a copy and paste case. So at this point in time, the only other case I've seen when the auditor actually was convicted in the court of something that was a civil rights or a constitutional right was, and mind you, I don't like Chile that much, delete laws, but what they did to him was absolutely fucking wrong in Nevada. And so he was convicted and given like 6 months in jail, and he appealed it, and then he was released. Now he did sue, and from my understanding, and if somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, he got such a good settlement out of that he in order to get it, he couldn't talk about it. It was like a non-disclosure agreement. So I don't know. No one knows how much he got, but he was incarcerated with a 6-month sentence unconstitutionally, and had to go through the appeal and basically a habeas corpus type situation. And so that's what we're looking at might happen here. And Ray is prepared for a potential situation, and so is Israel. Israel, we talked about it today, and he said, "Hey, look, it's a constitutional right. We're not doing this. If I had to do jail time, whatever, I'll do the jail time." He doesn't care. We're soldiers, so we understand that. But the bottom line is that's going to delay the resolution or the resolve of this the disposition of this particular case and delay the civil case moving forward. You will probably be hearing in the history, this is going to be a case that you'll hear Kirby versus Hillsborough County in future auditing cases because of the stink they're creating. We didn't publish the whole video yet because Ray said, "Hey, can you hold back all the body cam footage until after we get done with the criminal? I just don't want it all out there while we're doing that." So we didn't publish it. It's on YouTube, but it's unlisted right now. And we were gonna keep it all kind of down low and file the proper motions, but because they have committed these constitutional rights violations in Hillsborough County between Hillsborough County and Tampa PD, we get for last year 769 times. What we're accusing them of is violating rights well over 1,000 times in the history of 4223. I mean, I don't know. We don't know how many thousands. We only pulled records for a date range of a year, and there was 769 examples within that year of the enforcement of this unconstitutional ordinance. So we don't know how often they're using it, but they victimized a lot of people, and that's what we're accusing them of doing. So they're kind of doubling down. Now, that being said, Tampa PD, I oftentimes will talk about how as long as you're harassing panhandlers, you're oppressing them and you're violating constitutional rights and dishonoring your oath on their Facebook page. And I'll discuss this and that's my way of kind of being active and telling people panhandling is constitutional right. You can't do this to people who are impoverished and homeless, and this is not what you do to the vulnerable segments of society. That's what dastardly, disgusting people do, not human beings in American society. So, that being said, Tampa PD didn't want my comments on there, and they accused me of promoting a financial scam, which I don't know how they got Facebook to remove the comment and then ban me from using groups all through without any review, but they've done so at least for a short period of time till tomorrow, and that's a censorship. So the Tampa Police Department is not allowed to dislike a comment of yours, then make a false report to Facebook saying it's a financial scam, and then have you restricted. That's a 1A violation in itself. The damages aren't considerable quite yet, but it just goes to show how scared they are to lose their money-making scam that hurts the homeless, where they are finding and putting people who are panhandling on community service, incarcerations, probation, various things like that, when they're just holding a sign out and soliciting for alms, which is very clearly constitutionally protected. So we are going to fight the good fight in Hillsborough County, and Ray Tassiv and the Florida Justice Institute have given us the graces that they are behind us in this good fight, and the decisions we make, they will support all those decisions. Right now, that decision is fuck them. You want to fight? We believe we're right. It's a constitutional right. Check out Messina versus Fort Lauderdale. Check out Reeds versus Town and Gilbert. Check out all these cases. Very, very clear. And the more damages you create, the more damages will come back in the end. We're sticking through it. That's the update. I love you all. You have a beautiful night now.